This video was sponsored by Raycon.
What am I gonna do?
What happened to the lights?
Greetings.
Ah! Who are you?
I am the spirit of Raycon.
Ray J?
Ray J, the co-founder of Raycon Global, is a conduit through which I work. What troubles you, child?
Well, space-time is broken open and alternate universe versions of me have been spilling out into reality for starters. And even worse, Death took off with my beloved Raycon Everyday E25 earbuds. They were so sleek and low profile, and they lasted up to 6 hours on a charge and 24 hours using the convenient charging case so I could listen all day.
But child, the E25s are so affordable. They are about half the price of other premium wireless earbuds. And you can even get 15% off at buyraycon.com/Arlo. They also come in a variety of fun colors and patterns, and have a 45-day return policy. Why do you not simply purchase another pair?
It's the principle. Those Raycons were mine. They've gotten me through so many long, stressful days. They've changed the way I listen to music. I have to get them back.
Your heart is pure and your quest noble. I shall grant one wish to aid you.
Please, I just need to know where Death went.
Very well. I shall vaporize and reconstitute your body in the eternal realm.
You gonna what now? I don't know. Hello, my wonderful and enchanting friends. I am here again with another casual little discussion video. I'm sorry that content's been a little bit sparse recently. It's just mostly been roundups the last few weeks, but bear with me. Got a lot of stuff coming. It's been a thing. It's been a little hard to work. Personal life stuff, whatever, who cares, not important. Cool stuff is coming, scripted stuff, reviews, all sorts of stuff. But right now, the stuff that is happening is this stuff, this specific stuff right here. I made a video when E3 was canceled last year, and now I'm here with another video to say, sort of halfway, kind of triumphantly, E3 is back. It is officially back. It is going to take place in a, all digital live streamed format. And for the event itself, I'm not, completely hooting and hollering for joy. I'm fairly conflicted. Obviously, E3 has been a very important thing to me and a lot of other people for many, many years. For a while, E3 was the place, the only place, the singular place where you would get, new news on stuff. And so it came back. It's just that in the last few years, it's kind of come to light that the ESA, the company that, the organization that runs E3, pretty shady, not super great, not sort of the thing you really want to be supporting or whatever. And I've talked about that in other videos, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. So it's kind of like, I almost kind of liked the idea of E3 going away. As much as I have liked E3 in the past, it's kind of like, is its time done? You know what I mean? For the most part, for me, it's because Jeff Keighley was doing Summer Game Fest, and I was really hoping that would kind of take over, because E3 they just canceled. They just didn't want to do one last year. So Jeff Keighley's like, okay, how about we just do our own thing? He just hosted his own thing, and all the companies showed up except for Nintendo, of course. And I like that. I like it when the little guys come, and it's like, oh, the big guys are dropping the ball. Little guy, well, I mean, not really little. He's a big guy. He's got a lot of connections, but he's not. I don't know. He's not the ESA. He's not E3. So I thought it'd be fun if he came in and kind of showed everyone that we don't really need an E3 anymore. That you just kind of do it in this format here. But then at the same time, I will say I did not watch one single Summer Game Fest thing. It went for quite a while. I want to say it was spread over the course of a month or two or something. And no, I didn't watch one. It's I hate that because I want to support this other thing, but I didn't watch any of it. It's E3 is so concentrated. Everything is going to be that week in that few days stretch of time. The fact that it was so spread out made me just I don't know, I didn't watch any of them. There were a lot of conferences I wanted to watch, and I just kind of didn't. So, yeah. And I don't know what the numbers were like for that. I have to wonder if other people might have been the same way. I wonder if the viewership wasn't as good as it could have been. Probably not. That's probably just a me thing. I don't know. I don't really know anybody. I haven't talked to anybody, at least, who watched a bunch of it. And I do have to wonder. I'll get to the Nintendo part soon. I know it's Nintendo channel. I'm supposed to talk about Nintendo a little bit just on E3. There was this thought that maybe E3 was done, especially because I don't know, in trouble for a number of different reasons. And so after last year, it just not happening, and then Summer Game Fest becoming a thing. But then it's back, and it's just kind of back. And I mean, I knew it was gonna like just die, all up and die. But I don't know, the fact that there's still a market for it and that other companies are just already ready to come back to it, it makes me wonder if it can die. It makes me wonder if it's like maybe too big to die at this point. It's E3. It's always gonna be E3, you know, especially a lot of these big companies that have been doing E3 forever. Maybe they're even chums with the board of the ESA. Who knows? But it's like maybe it can't ever go away. Maybe nothing will ever happen to it. As long, you know, we can talk about its relevancy all day, and we can talk about, do we need E3 anymore? Hype culture ruining everything. I don't know. But maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe there's just always gonna be an E3, no matter how many times they dox all of the people who go to their events. So that's terrible. Not gonna get into that though. It is funny that Summer Game Fest is happening again this year, and they haven't given any specifics about the dates, but it kind of sounds like they're gonna narrow it a bit. It just says on the website, it's happening in June. And that's funny because there's a lot of summer that you could do Summer Game Fest, and they are picking June. So I don't know if this is them just like all-out war against E3. See who does it better. Who knows? But the real point, the thing that you actually came here to hear, not my horrible opinions about E3 or whatever. No, you want to hear about Nintendo. So that's the real big news here, as I reported in the recent roundup. Nintendo, they're going to be at E3. They're doing it. And the funny thing is, like, Nintendo hasn't really announced anything specifically. We just kind of learned it through, like, the E3 thing that Nintendo's showing up. We don't know. We don't know. We can imagine what that means. Like, obviously, like, Nintendo kind of got back on Nintendo Directs this year. Well, we imagine they did a Nintendo Direct in February. Technically, that could have been the only one or something, but returning to the format makes it really feel like they are gonna keep going with the format. So if we hear that Nintendo is gonna be at E3, it's easy to imagine, it's easy to assume 95% chance that they're just gonna do what they usually do. They're just gonna do a Nintendo Direct presentation that happens at E3, you know, during E3 time. And then, of course, on top of the Direct, they would do, you know, Treehouse presentations and stuff on some of the previously announced games and the new games. You know, they do the thing with all the gameplay demos and whatnot. And we know that there's not going to be a show floor, so that is going to be one difference this year, is usually they have a spot on the show floor where there's just, like, you know, kiosks and people wait in line to play the games. And there's usually, like, fun, like, photo ops and maybe even costume people and stuff. And that's definitely a fun part of E3. But obviously they're not going to do that. So that does make me wonder if they're going to try to do something more than just the broadcast, you know? Because the whole reason for them, because, like, if they're just doing a live presentation, obviously they can do a Nintendo Direct any time of year. It doesn't have to be associated with any one event. Even when they went digital and they started just doing their digital presentations, even then they still wanted to line up with E3, because at E3 they could have the show floor. They could have people coming, and those two things are adjoined, you know, the presentation and then the place where the press can go in and play the games, talk about them and stuff. But now that they don't have that, they don't have that that level of interactivity, it makes me wonder if they're gonna do more to I don't know, involve the public. I mean, technically you can still do, like, digitally streamed closed doors demos. I've had an offer for one or two of those. We're just like, hey, you come and see the game. We're still online. You're not in a room somewhere, but we can still, like, show you what's going on or whatever. They could still technically do that. I think it would be fun if they started to really double down on demos during this time, even if they wanted to make these temporary demos, because these do not reflect a piece, you know, an official demo needs to reflect a piece of a full game that you play the demo, you know what you're gonna get, you can buy the game. These are press demos though, just to give you an idea. The games could change over time. So they could be like timed things, but you could, I don't know, it could technically have a system where just press can get in, but I don't know, I don't see the point. Like, just open it up to everybody. So this is a concept that we've wanted for a long time now, is just them doing demos around E3, so everybody can play the demos. If you want a demo to be played, why would you limit it to only the people that can walk up to it physically and play it? Why would you not make it available to as many people as possible? Is just because they want only the press talking about it, so I don't know I'm not going to go into the deep conspiracy theories of why they don't, but I'm just saying that would be cool if this year they finally did that. And golly, I mean, I think it probably goes without saying that I can't wait for it to happen. So I can, whatever they do, I can witness it and get some Nintendo news. I think we could also use some fun news right about now. There's obviously a lot of stuff coming up. There's games that we don't know about. The games that we do know about, but we don't know a lot about. Zelda's got an anniversary whole thing. For a while, I was wondering if maybe they would do another Direct now in April and then in June. It's not common, but I feel like in the past, at least once or twice, they've had like a really, like a lot of Directs, only like a few months apart. Probably not for a few years though. So that means that, like June is like halfway through the year. That's, that's 2 Directs. Might only get 3 this year. Who knows? Yeah, obviously I want to see the news. Like that's important, but that's not the most important thing. This is funny. It's like the most important thing is not whether or not I get to see Zelda, whether or not there's some rumblings of a Metroid or a Pikmin or something like that. I think this E3 more than anything will be kind of, emblematic. It's kind of like we had a bad year and we're still in some stuff and things still don't really feel like they're normal. They're like sort of returning to normal. So it's like not having an E3, not even having a Nintendo Direct even around that time, and obviously not having a whole lot of different things in our lives. It was weird and uncomfortable. And so I think more than anything, just the fact that I can say E3 is coming this June. Nintendo's gonna be at E3. Who cares what they even announce? There's gonna be a Nintendo E3 presentation. It's just this little return to normalcy, or at least sort of moving in the direction of something like normalcy. That to me is the most important thing about all this, and the reason that I wanted to talk about it today in a full video instead of just doing a little blurb about it in the roundup. I just can't wait for that predictable comfort. That feeling that maybe things are going all right. And if you do want, I mean, I'm not going to get like into a bunch of specifics about like the show itself and what we might expect. There'll be plenty of time for that when the time comes. Beforehand, I always do like the pre-shows, and then I do stuff on the show, and I get to make E3 videos again. I missed that. I can't even tell you how much I missed that. I love doing the pre-show, just blabbering on forever about my wishes and my expectations and all that stuff. So obviously I'm not going to go too deep into that now. I think Breath of the Wild, my one specific is Breath of the Wild 2. If we don't get like a different Zelda Direct leading up to that, it's a guarantee. It's gotta be. It's been so long. It's been so long since we've heard anything about it. There's gotta be at least like a new trailer or something. And here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Like with any Nintendo Direct or E3 presentation or anything, you can't really always go into it expecting too much. I usually argue that you should be able to expect a lot from an E3 Direct because it is a big thing. It is a big deal. And people say, well, Nintendo doesn't think it's a big deal, but sometimes they do. Why is it 2017 was incredible? 2018 was really, they go back and forth on it. I feel like if you're going to pick one in the year that you should be able to be like, there's going to be some big stuff, it should be the E3 one. Thing is, though, like, even if you say, like, fine, you can't, though. You can't expect anything. I know that a lot of people are going into the first Nintendo Direct in like over a year or whatever in February. Expectations were high. In fact, I feel that Direct delivered pretty darn well, and yet it still left people dissatisfied because their expectations were so high because it's been so long since we had a Direct. And that's not like exactly fair. You got to look at the specifics. You can't just say, like, the longer you go without one, the bigger it's got to be. It doesn't really quite work that way, especially when Nintendo is there. It's not like they're not announcing things. They've been announcing things between the Directs. But yeah, that's the thing. The same with February. Even though that kind of broke the ice a little bit on, like, the first Direct back. But now the second one back is an E3 Direct. And that's tough because, again, E3, it brings certain expectations with it. It's, there was no E3 at all last year. We're so excited to return to that comfort that I do think a lot of people are gonna go into this one feeling like this better be good. And I don't know. I really hope Nintendo is able to deliver on that front. I would say they're in a good position to. There are a lot of announced projects that we don't know a lot about. At any point, Bayonetta could be there, just at any point, and that's something solid. Breath of the Wild, I mean, a good Zelda reveal can carry a thing basically all on its own. If they give us a big trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 and it shows us like a bunch of cool stuff and it's not just a teaser and like we get like a really good sense of how cool it's gonna be, that's gonna carry most of the show. Like, you do that and then like one good Smash reveal, that might be enough to do it. And then, you know, there are a lot of empty slots in the schedule over the next few years. So, like, obviously, they could be working on any number of things. They could have any number of new projects to announce. You've got Zelda anniversary stuff. So, like, the potential is absolutely there. Metroid Prime 4, I doubt we'll see anything, but I think a teaser would go a long, long way. I mean, like, did you know that they canceled it or they restarted it, but now like the time since then is as long as before it started development? Like, we've spent that time again, so it feels like it could be something. I am getting too specific here. I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away talking about the specifics of what we might see at E3. We're gonna do that for the pre-show. The real point I'm trying to make is expectations will probably be pretty high, but I think Nintendo has a lot of potential to deliver. Will they deliver? Who knows? Should I be excited about this? Should I be excited about E3 coming back? Are you excited for E3 coming back? Is it fun? Do you like the comfort and the familiarity as I do? Whatever the case, please tell me your thoughts down in the comments. Scroll down, flip down, whatever you gotta do on whatever device you're on. Put some words in there, hit enter. It's good. Don't even have to check your spelling. Just go for it. I check my spelling on everything. I meticulously edit even internet comments, because that's just kind of the guy I am, I guess. Well, anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. I love you. Bye.